Hello, welcome to the KAGI 8.0 finals. I am excited. This is one of the coolest competitions online. Yes, it's Keyforge as Garfield intended. It's adaptive best of 3, and we got two great contestants for you tonight, Zenzizenzizenzic and Holystewe. And so let's let's see a little bit of how did we get here for the season. Let us take a look at the top cut. So KAGI 8.0 was actually the largest KAGI ever. 43 players played, and Zenzizenzizenzic and Holystewe have gone undefeated throughout, which is amazing, especially with the level of competition, and especially once we get to know who is in our top cut. Let's check that out. So, in the top cut, we had Ashitaka, Murph, Zenzizenzizenzic, JDG 314, Aldrin Honor, Mooseman Dude, Holystewe, and Quick Draw. And what's really interesting is Ashitaka, JDG, Aldrin Honor, Mooseman Dude, and Quick Draw all top cut last season as well. So 5 returning top cut. And a lot of these they've been top cutting over and over. Quick Draw, actually, 7 out of the last 8 seasons he has top cut, or all 8 seasons. So 7 out of all the 8 seasons he has top cut. Ashitaka has cut 4 times, top cut 4 times, including the last 3, while Aldrin Honor currently has the leading active streak at 4 straight top cuts. So Holystewe and Zenzizenzizenzic, they had to go through the ringer to get here, and they still went through the whole season undefeated. What's up, Fudginator? So this is going to be a great match. Yes, this is Keyforge.
This is Keyforge.
There are also 2 first-time participants, so it's even more impressive. So while we are waiting for the match to get going, let's learn a little bit about our finalist. Holystewe from Italy has played card games since they were a kid. They joined the KAGI League because they love the adaptive format and because it lets them play the decks that they like the most. And it also requires the knowledge and creativity to use others' decks and create synergies that are not usual. Very cool. And Zenzizenzizenzic is from the USA, is actually local to Roseville, which is home of Ghost Galaxy. They have been playing Keyforge for about a year now and is fascinated with adaptive as a format, thinking it's really skill testing. And Zenzizenzizenzic has already committed to next season. Next season? Yes, there is a next season. KAGI 9.0 signups are live. I'll put the form in the chat, and it'll also be in the description for the VOD. It is ready to be signed up right now, so get out there and sign up. The deadline for signups is Tuesday, September 19th, and the league starts on September 24th. So yeah, get in there. I went to the wrong page. Okay. So, while we wait for them to set up, let's check out what decks that they had played in the semifinals. So, as we saw, Holystewe beat Aldrin Honor 2-1 in the semifinals, and they beat Quickjaw 2-0 in the quarterfinals. And Zenzizenzizenzic beat Murph 2-0 in the semifinals, and JDG 314 2-1 in the quarterfinals. So what decks did they use in the semifinals? So Holystewe used Vicky Cyborg, which is a mass mutation deck, and Zenzizenzizenzic used Khan G Bronstead, an AoA deck. So will they be using the same decks, it will be interesting. It will be an interesting matchup if they use these same decks, but they might surprise us as well. Okay, they are ready to go. They will be setting up a game very soon, and we'll see what they decide to bring to the matchup. Let me get over to, yes, the right scene. Okay, very exciting. Okay, there we go. Perfect. KAGI finals, let's go. Hey, Orion, what's up? Nice to see you. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Check out Orion and Murph's Twitch for previous coverage of the semifinals and quarterfinals. Good luck and have fun. Let's see. Okay, so Zenzizenzic brought Khan, but Holystewe bought Flippa. So let's check out Flippa. Flippa Alpha, another AoA deck. Flippa Alpha, also with some big creatures, 16 creatures overall. Let's see how they compare here. Oops, clear, compare. And AoA versus AoA. A double Grump Buggy matchup. Oh my, we might be here for a while. Although Khan does have some artifact control. So that could be pretty key, especially with the key charge and the mimicry. It does have some anti-Grump Buggy tech. So this is really interesting already. Some expensive keys. So yeah, check out Floximal on Twitch and Fudgenator on Twitch for previous KAGI coverage from the quarterfinals and semifinals. Okay, so they get going. Zenzizenzizenzic starts with a dust switch, of course. Holystewe plays Hadros Wall, Anita the Traitor, and Doorstep to Heaven. So Doorstep already out. Doorstep actually pairs really well with the Grump Buggies, but they're trying to get the cards out as quick as possible. Let's see what Zenzizenzizenzic can do with this dust switch. It was played in several of the semifinal games, although didn't get a ton of use out of it. So will they get some use here? Anahita the Trader is actually also pretty interesting in this deck. It dies very quickly here, but oh, could we have Ganger not to start with? Oh wow, we have the Dust Switch combo. That's pretty sweet. We get an extra reap off of Ogopogo and healing it, bouncing it with Drummerknot. Okay, then Holystewe's got logos coming down with a ZYX researcher. They archive from the discard pile, which was at the Anahita the Trader, actually. Oh, but then the other ZYX also gets a discard, so it got the Doorstep to Heaven. And they paired the ZYXs around the Archimedes and with a rocket boots on the research. Let's see what else is Holystewe rocking in this deck. They have a 1 stood against mini with a potion of invulnerability, 2 Hadros walls, and 2 doorstep to heavens. That's really good with that Grump Buggy. They brought some anti-Grump Buggy tech. So I think they probably were assuming Zenzi would play the same deck, and they brought some anti-Grump Buggy deck. Early Witch again. Saw that a lot from Zenzi's deck. Yeah, it's got the double Dust Witch. It's a great turn 1 play. Zenzi decide what to do, and they go Sanctum here. Prince Derek Unifier to get 3 Ember off of that. Albad the Grim to capture. Let's see now. What does do? They fight off the Archimedes? Do they fight off the Researcher with the Rocket Boots? That would put it in the archives, but it makes their archives a little bit more messy. They do get to protect the weak on the Drummer Knot to protect the Dust Witch. And they just reap twice, so they go up to 10 Ember. Does Holystewe have an answer? We know they have the Doorstep and Archives, so they definitely can stop them if they go Sanctum here. But they go Brobnar. Maybe they can tax them if they have a Grump Buggy. No, they just play out 4 cards. A Gauntlet, take that Smarty Pants, Calfine, and a Grok. And Zenzi gets an early cheap key for 6 small Ember. That could be huge. A really good start having that Dusk Witch live and continue to live and getting lots of value out of their board, getting Prince Derek value. Here comes the Untamed. Dusk Switch comes out. Panpaka Onga to make everything buffed up. A Tentadlin. They might be able to get rid of that Doorstep. A Fang House. 4 creatures coming out ready is brutal. Fang House gets rid of that Archimedes. Tentadlin takes out the ZYX that had the rocket boots, and they discard the Anahita the Trader, so they didn't get the Doorstep, and then they reap out, so they get the check for their second key at 7 Ember already. Holystewe's deck a little bit slow to get going here. Still is not able to take care of that Dust Witch. They do have a Calfine on the board now, but they have to stop the key. They go Sanctum, they go Doorstep, Healing Blast, Equalize, Shale the Safeguard, and the Dust Witch lives with 5 untamed creatures still on the board with a key charge in the deck. This is a scary thing to face here for Holystewe. Let's see, what else? We haven't even had a chance to fully go through Philippa here. Double Gauntlet could be good. Double Rocket Boots. Standardized testing they kind of need. Okay, yep. Zenzizenzizenzic does go back into Untamed. They are able to use a Tentadlin here to discard the Doorstep from the archive. They also get rid of the Chalet the Safeguard. They Mimicry to heal a Fang House. Reap a whole bunch. Song of Spring. They play another Dust Witch, and they are up to 12 Ember. And Holystewe's going Logos here. They do have a couple Cutthroat. They finally get their standardized testing to take out the Dust Witch, take out the Tentadlin. Titan Mechanic comes down, Hex Beyond, and that's it. Not even being able to punish with the Cutthroats. This one looks like it's over. The quick Dust Witch has led to a quick and furious burst by Zenzizenzizenzic. They go in the Sanctum, play double take hostages. Abad reaps, Prince Derek reaps, Martyr's End to gain a whole bunch more Ember. They are up to 18 Ember for that third key. They know both Doorsteps are in the discard, and good game, well played. Wow, that was a quick start. And Holystewe concedes. Okay, a quick start there for Zenzizenzizenzic. Kanji having all the cards come out in the right order pretty much. Zenzi says this deck either wins or loses very quickly. Okay, now they switch decks. And we do it all over again. Can we get to a third match here? Is Khan gonna have the same luck for Holystewe or not? Philippa does have some tools, but they have to come out in the right order. They definitely had a pretty clunky start. Pretty clunky start. That it was very brutal. Dust Witch, you gotta kill the witch. Gotta kill the witch. Let's see. So what is the creature control here in Philippa? They do have the standardized testing. They got that really late. One stood against many. Gauntlet. Cowfine is all fighting. They do have a poke, which could be relevant, but really standardized testing is the only creature control from play. Okay. So Holystewe starts with a Panpaka Jaga. Zenzi comes back with a Cutthroat, a ZYX Researcher to archive the Cutthroat, and a Poke. Holystewe plays a Gauntlet, a Ogopogo, and a Gengar Chieftain to get an extra Reap there. Oh, they went on the wrong side of Panpaka Jaga, so they don't have the Skirmish. That's one of those things where it's easy to mix those up. Definitely. That that is a big oof, especially Ogopogo is really nice. If you keep that living with the extra 2 damage that it can do, can be pretty powerful. Zenzi comes back. They go Brobnar, Gauntlet of Commands, and take that Smarty Pants really quick, and they pass it back over to Holystewe. They go Untamed. Do we see the Dust Switch already? Grovekeeper comes out. Tentadlin comes out. Panpaka Jaga Reaps, and that's it. So now they have the Tentadlin threatening the archives from Zenzi, so they could potentially get that Cutthroat Research. Hadros Wall comes down. Doorstep to Heaven, Chalet the Safeguard, Equalize, and Healing Blast. Just playing as many cards as possible to get to something. They do get to check for 6 here. So they've had a lot of their pips early, but not a lot of creatures. Holystewe goes Brobnar. Here comes a Grump Buggy. We have a Grump Buggy in play. That makes the key cost 10 right now with the Gengar played. And they do get to discard that Cutthroat Research by Gengaring the Tentadlin. They get the Reap, and they finished off the Chalet with the Ogopogo. And they get another Reap off the Gauntlet. So they're up to 4 Ember. And now Zenzi has a key cost of 10. So, and a clear board again. So Holystewe's been doing a good job of making sure the board stays clear. Okay, but Zenzi fights back, and Ogopogo gauntleting the Ogopogo into the Panpaka Jaga, bouncing it with a Drummerknot, getting a Groke out as well. So now they got some big board action going. Holystewe goes back into Sanctum with a Sigil of Brotherhood, Abad the Grim, and a Radiant Truth to stun the Ogopogo. And it seems like they're maybe thinking about something else. Where to play the Protect the Weak? They play it on the Tentadlin. Potentially protecting the Grovekeeper? Or maybe the Gengar Chieftain for a future Drummerknot play? Oh, and they Martyr's End for the Gengar to get the check at 9. Okay. They're not afraid to pay a lot of keys here. Buggy is interesting with Hadros on the wall. But seems like that deck will struggle to take back the board. Yeah, now it does have a second Hadros Wall, so if it gets that second one out, that could really help. It could. There's going to be some beefy creatures on the board, and I think long term, Philippa might be able to take control of the board with the double gauntlets, with the double Hadros Wall, but will it have time to do that? Let's see what they do have the standardized testing to potentially clear a little bit of the board. What does Khan have? They have the Radium of Truth, which they just used, and the rest is also mostly fighting based. They have the 1-2 punch. So lots of big beefy fighting decks here. Let's beat some heads. And speaking of beating heads, Zenzi goes back into Brobnar. The Grok prevents the key. They do get rid of that Tantadlin by fighting it twice. They bounce a Grok to heal it. Ogopogo exhaust, and then they use Ogopogo to take out the Abad and finish off the Grovekeeper with the extra 2 damage. So there goes that board. Only has Gengar left. I think that was a pretty good play. They haven't played any cards. They discard their Grump Buggy. They are afraid of the double Grump Buggy showdown. Interesting. Very interesting. And that makes sense, I guess. I mean, they do have the double doorstep here. Ooh. I think Holystewe made a mistake. Yeah, they play Marmo Swarm, they play Song of Spring. They accidentally played Key Charge instead of discarding it, but Zenzi's letting them fix it. So that's nice. Yeah, even though all that Zenzi did was discard a card from hand, I think that was a really valuable Brobnar turn to beat their way into board dominance here. Now the Marmoswarm is actually really good here with Grump Buggy because it's going to be huge until they get a key. Okay, so yeah, that was really nice. Zenzi allowed Holystewe to fix the key charge mistake. And then they finish the turn with Dusk Witch. So now there's another threat on the board. So unless they have the standardized testing here, they might want to go right back into Brobnar. But no, they go Sanctum, Healing Blast, and Borden the Redeemed. So they get to check. But with the Hadros Wool, Borden the Redeem makes a key cost 10 Ember for Holystewe. So they don't get the key, but they do have the live Dusk Witch. So now things could get nutty. Let's see if they have the creatures in hand to take advantage of it. Oh man, I need to fix my score already. Okay, they went so quick. Okay, Holystewe is trying to figure out what the best play is here. They do go Brobnar. They play out a Foozle. Comes out ready. I love Foozle. Do they have any other creatures? The Gengar could potentially do some work here. But what does it take out? The Garok, maybe? That's the only thing it can actually destroy here. The Gauntlet could also gauntlet the Marmoswarm into something as well. Some interesting choices here. Do you take out the drum or not? Because of the risk of... I guess they don't have gang or not. Ogopogo is a risk to take out the Dust Witch. So they could take out the Grove Keeper and the Ogopogo using the Ganger on Marmo Swarm and then Reap with Foozle. Some interesting choices here. Pound comes down to damage the Grok. And the Ogopogo and the Borden. Ooh, Into the Fray comes down. So now, now what do they do? Into the Fray on Gengar Chieftain. Unfortunately, it doesn't really help them much here, because it dies to a fight. I mean, it means that they could take out the Borden if they want. Holystewe says no gauntlet. Can I cancel prompt? Okay, they didn't want a gauntlet. Yeah, so they fix that. Or at least they didn't want to right now. What's up, Quickdraw? Nice to see you. Zenzi took the first game. They had a turn 1 Dust Witch. It lived for 4 or 5 turns, and they sped out to a super fast victory. They had, I think, 18 Ember for the third key. They won it 3-0. We have a double Grump Buggy matchup, although the second Grump Buggy was discarded this matchup. So we're early in game 2 here. Both have a lot of Ember and a large key cost. Holystewe is trying to figure out what to kill here to clear up the board a little bit. Oh, they fight with the Foozle. And they use the Gauntlet on the Marmo Swarm to take out the Drummerknot, maybe? Yes. So they do a little bit of board clearing of themselves. The Dust Switch stays alive. They're at 10 Ember, key cost 7, and it's still a key cost 7 for Zenzi, who gets the first key. So, Holystewe did bring a different deck to the final. They bought Philippa Alpha, whereas Zenzizenzizenzic again brought Kanji, same as the semifinal. Okay. So that's a quick recap. Let's see what Zenzizenzizenzic does. The Titan Mechanic comes down, Hexbion and Rocket Boots to the Titan Mechanic. And when Holystewe forges, that kills their Marmo Swarm, but they still have the live Dusk Witch. So 1 key to 1 key, both with 2 Ember. And lots of fighting to try and keep the board clear. Okay. Let's see. So Khan has 16 creature. We have seen... We still got more to see there, and we also have 16 creatures over in Philippa. Holystewe goes Sanctum. Prince Derek, take hostages, equalize. So they do get at least a little value out of the Dusk Witch with the Prince Derek coming out ready, and it fights the Hexbion. Interesting. That does give an archive of 2. Of course, archiving itself and the top card of the deck. And now Zenzizenzizenzic has 2 creatures with Rocket Boots. So let's see. We've seen about half the Brobnar, about half of the Sanctum, and about half of the Logos as well. So we could see anything here. They go back into Logos. So Archimedes comes down, a ZYX. They discard the standardized testing and then use the ZYX to archive it. So now they have board tech, and the Titan mechanic takes out the Dusk Witch. Huh, so that was pretty interesting. I mean, what's nice about this is they have additional key costs because they could have potentially reap Tights with the Titan mechanic, play the standardized testing to take out the Dust Switch and the Titan mechanic, and then again archive the standardized testing with the ZYX researcher. But this gives them the Titan mechanic still on the board. They did give up a couple Ember, but more board control here, which is probably more important. Also, board control with the rocket boots on it, which is also very nice. Some interesting decisions. Holystewe goes take hostages Gormavom. So now, if they need to, they have a get out of Grump Buggy free, which they might need to if they continue to stay behind on the board. And they would be up to check if that Grump Buggy was not there. Let's see, we have seen one doorstep from Zenzizenzizenzic, so they have another doorstep coming or in hand as well. And they have 3 archives, 6 in hand and 6 in the draw. So they have another turn to get to it too if they don't have it already. So they could make Holystewe pay here this next turn potentially. But they go Brobnar. They get their second gauntlet down. I'm guessing they're looking to make sure that they have good control of the board here. The Cowfine comes down. They use the gauntlet on the Cowfine to take out Prince Derek, and then they play another Cowfine. So they have total board control. The key cost is 9 for Holystewe, but they do have the Gormavan. Do they use it this turn to get rid of the Grump Buggy? The danger is that they have no board control at all, and Zenzi could potentially just keep controlling the board, keep on reaping, and grind it out here. Lots of Gorm targets, it's true. Tempted to hit the Hadros wall? I could see that, I could see that. Okay. Holystewe goes Untame. They have a Panpaka Anga that comes down. A Grasping Vines. What do they put back to hand? Even putting all 3 back in the hand of Zenzizenzizenzic would be pretty good. Just to clog up their hand a little bit. Although they're still pretty far behind on board here. So they're thinking about that. They still have the other Dusk Witch, which is either in hand or in the last 5 cards of their draw. Okay, so they return one of the gauntlets, the Hadros Wall, and their own Grump Buggy to hand. So they do get to check while leaving the Gormavom ready to be used. And they use that to destroy the other gauntlets. So a little bit of cleanup. And there comes a Dusk Witch. Now in Brobnar here, Zenzi can just get rid of both the Penpaka and the Dusk Witch. However, they wouldn't be able to stop the key. So some choices to be had here for Zenzizenzizenzic. And they're out of Cutthroat Research danger as well. Although they could capture with the board end. But they go in the logos. They can reap for 4 here just using the board. They can also get rid of the dust switch by fighting. A Pip comes out. The Titan mechanic does take out the dust switch. And then they reap twice. And Holystewe gets the second key. They're still facing a really scary board on the other side. And they use their Radiant Truth early, so they have no way to really control that board other than creatures. Although they went Sanctum and Untamed, so yeah, I was expecting a Brobnar, and they do have the Gauntlet here, so they could do a little bit of work. Oh, an Iron Obelisk also comes out. That could be good. They play a second Gauntlet of Command. They discard the Grump Buggy. Drummerknot comes down. And they Gauntlet the Drummernauts into... lots of choices here. I feel like it has to be a Logos creature just because of the Delta, but no, they take out the Cowfine. Okay, interesting. The keys in the opposite order, bold. Yellow, blue, red, huh? What's up, Sloppy Laboric? Nice to see you. Okay, that does get damage on the Drummerknot to increase our key cost here with the Iron Obelisk. And Holystewe did get to flip their deck. So everything's back as possibilities. They really would love to see that Radiant Truth here, probably. Zenzi goes Sanctum. Hadros Wall, the Potion of Invulnerability. Anahita the Traitor. And one stood against many with the Cowfine to take out the Panpaka Anga and the Drummernauts. And then board in the Redeemed reaps twice to get to check at 8. While still having a lot of good board control here. So this Anahita the Traitor could steal Chew this next turn, and they could reap twice with board in. So they could gain an easy 5 Ember just going Sanctum. They could gain 4 going Logos by just reaping. But let's see what Holystewe does here. They have a chance. They do have double gauntlets, although they just went Brobnar. I'm sure they would have loved to redraw into their Radiant Truth, although it wouldn't solve the Sanctum problem here. So they still have a big board control issue on their hands. It's not looking too good there. Yeah, they're having a good think, which makes a lot of sense. Let's see, what else do they have for creature control? Into the Fray. If they drew that in one Brobnar creature, it might be worth going there, although it would die pretty quick. A 1-2 punch. Fang House, but they wouldn't be able to use it the same turn. Pound. Yeah, they are really going to struggle, I think, to handle this board. And say Zenzizenzizenzic gets to check next turn. Is there any way for them to kind of respond to that? All they have is capturing or key cost, so they have no way to get rid of Ember. Unless they can reap with Abad. So Holystewe plays a Fang House. They have to discard the key charge here to dig for some answers. It makes them cry to discard the key charge, they say. It makes sense. I think they're just hoping to get to some answers, knowing that there's no way for them to burst up enough in Untamed to really have a chance. Let's see, could they mimicry a Healing Blast? Probably not, because they're about to flip their deck. So tough choices here. Oh, they do have the mimicry, and they decide to mimicry the one stood against mini. Okay. They try and control the board here. Archimedes, Titan Mechanic. I think the Anahita has to die here. Yep, they finish off the Anahita. So they do get some board control. That is huge. That is huge. I think that was a great play. Even though they could have burst up to, roughly 5 in the Untamed, if they did the Healing Blast, yeah, I think that was definitely the right play. Okay, a little bit of board control. What a play! Mimicking the one stood against many. Zenzi goes Gauntlet of Command. Groke discards Little Rapskull, plays into the fray, but they don't have the Gauntlet ready. So just playing cards, 3 cards from hand. I'm sure they have a Doorstep in hand ready to go, because I don't think we ever saw that second Doorstep. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting. It's 2 keys, 2 Ember. Both players with 2 keys, 2 Ember. Holystewe goes in the Brobnar. They have an Ogopogo with 2 Gauntlet of Command. 2 Gauntlets. They can do some work here. Ooh, and a Pound. They can definitely do some cleanup here. Yeah, they can wipe the whole board here if they don't mind getting rid of their Ogopogo. Well, they won't be able to wipe the board now. So let's see. They fight with the Ogopogo with a Gauntlet. Who do they fight? Into the Borden. And then they finish the Borden and shoot the Researcher. But the Researcher now is 4 power because of the Hadros Wall, so they're unable to kill it, and then they stun the Groke. Huh, could have they? I think they could have wiped the whole board, but they wouldn't have killed their. If they did, they would have killed their Ogopogo, which they might need that for the key cost here. And they're still playing around the standardized testing here, which is actually pretty nice. So maybe they didn't want to kill the board so that they can continue to play around the standardized testing. Because that Iron Obelisk key cost may actually be very relevant as we get near the end here. Zenzi goes back into Brobnar. They play Little Rascal, use Gauntlet to fight it into Ogopogo and kill it, and Grok removes its stun. And they play Into the Fray for no use, so just wiping the board a little bit. Holystewe goes Untamed, Song of Spring, and Dusk Witch. They don't get to check, but now they also have the Dusk Witch threat. Now we know that Zenzizenzizenzic has the standardized testing, but they go back into Brobnar. They get 2 fights with a Grok, makes Holystewe lose 2 Ember, and they fight off the Dusk Switch, and they get a second Gauntlet on the board as well. Holystewe comes back. They get their Gormavon back. That could be relevant. Shield of Justice, Abad the Grim, take hostages, and a second Abad. They get back up to 5 Ember. And they have the Sigil of Brotherhood too. So Zenzi goes right back into Brobnar. They play the Grump Buggy. The Grump Buggy is back. They use the Potion of Invulnerability. Grok takes out both Abads and gets a Reap out. And makes them lose 2 more Ember. And they're up to 4 Ember. Back and forth we go. Brobnar 3 turns in a row. Holystewe goes right back in Untamed. Tentadlin, Grovekeeper. And that's it. The Grovekeeper is actually quite relevant here. Because it could make him discard potentially Doorstep. And adds additional key cost. Now they didn't use a Gorm of on that play. They might be wanting to keep it in case they want to get rid of the Grump Buggy and they get to check. It obviously probably was very tempting to get rid of a Gauntlet of Command, but if they need to get rid of that Grump Buggy, then they want to have it. Okay, Zenzi goes into Sanctum, plays a Doorstep. They must have another Doorstep that they're holding on to. But they do say, oops, oh well. So I'm not sure what the mistake was there. Play a Jahedros Wall. They play 1 stood against many. And Grok gets another couple fights out. Ooh. They burst here. They fight the Tentadlin. They fight off the Grovekeeper. Then a Healing Blast on the Grok. 4 value. And a Chalet to Safeguard. They burst up to 9 at check for their last key. Can Holystewe answer here? They have a limited ability to answer. They go into Brobnar. They potentially could have a Grump Buggy, and they could potentially have a way to get damage on the Brobnar creatures using their gauntlets. And just having big creatures because the Grump Buggy's already out there. Mind games! You think that oh well on the doorstep was a mind game? Could be. Okay, we have a Foozle coming out into the fray on the Foozle. But whatever the Foozle fight will die here. Or the Foozle will die, so you can't get the extra key cost there. The key cost is 8 right now with the 5 power Foozle and the 9 power Tentadlin. But you fight into anything here and your creatures die. This looks like a tough spot for Holystewe. Oh, Gormlets. Yeah, you could Gorm the Hadros Wall to let it fight. They play their Grump Buggy. Double Grump Buggy! They do use the Gorm on the wall. And the Foozle fight comes down. And it's readied again because of the Into the Fray. So they reap with the Foozle to gain Chew. And they can't fight with the Foozle here because that would get them back into check. So they live another day. 2 walls, too much value here. Yeah, the walls are coming up huge because now that Grok is 7 power as well, and they have 2 gauntlets. So they could get some more Brobnar value. They go Brobnar. And they haven't had a chance to get back to that key charge or even a mimicry. They play a Calfine, they gauntlet the Calfine into Ted Tadlin, takes out both creatures. They reap with a Grok, they play another Grok. With the gauntlets, they get another reap in. They're at check at 11. This may be the end, even with double gauntlets on the board. They go Brobnar, they have a Gengar. They have a second Gengar. Key cost 10. Oh, they get key cost 11 here, and then they get key cost 12 with the second Gengar. They're holding on by a thread. Key cost 12. They stop the key again. Unable to gain any Ember, though. Zenzizenzizenzic goes right back into Brobnar. With the Calfine, takes out both of them. And the Groks reap a whole bunch. Now they're up to 15 Ember. Truly, this must be the end. Red key, too much value. That was a good stop, though. Prince Derek comes down. Protect the weak, equalize, martyrs in. They do get up to 8 Ember. But that's the game. Good game and well played. What a game. Zenzizenzizenzic takes it. They take the finals 2-0. Congratulations, Zenzizenzizenzic. Woo! Some good old double Grump Buggy AoA Brobnar beaten action for the KAGI's final. That Mimicry plus 1 stood against many play was awesome. Awesome. Good games. Hey, Moosemans, dude. Nice to see you. Zenzizenzizenzic is your KAGI 8.0 champion. And just in case you missed it, KAGI 9.0 already is open for sign up. So here's a link in the chat. Deadline is Tuesday, September 19th, and the league starts September 24th. Yeah, that first match, the early turn 1 Dusk Witch was huge, and that just steamrolled. That one was just a beatdown. This one was back and forth, trying every single ounce to keep control of that board. Let's see if they are open to some interviews here. All right. This was some good old action. Brobnar beating Brobnar.
This is Keyforge.
Okay, let's see if they are open to some interviews. Zenzizenzizenzic unfortunately does not have a working mic right now. Okay, it looks like we will be able to get Holystewe though. Hello.
Hello.
Holy
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Congratulations on a great run. And you had some amazing plays in this final. It's really exciting.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about why you brought the deck that you brought and kind of your thoughts on the final.
Uh, First, I'll explain why I choose that deck, Filippa Elfa, because it has so many synergies and so many couples of cards. They are two per cards, like Gauntlet, Confine, or as you can see on the list, everything is two per. Okay,
Yeah,
so it helps to synergize the strategies of the deck. It revolves around the Grump Buggy attack and the adult walls, because every creature you have on the flank is plus 4 powers, and
right.
with Buggy it creates that good synergies. Also, it creates the good synergy with the Healing Blaster, which is good with like the Brobnars having 9 power or 10 power. You usually gain 3 embers with that card.
Yeah,
Also, you have like Anaita, the merchant, which is good if you can trade the Grand Buggy, because the effect is still the same for any players who hold the card.
right.
And also, you have the cutthroat research, which is good because you keep increasing the key cost, and usually it happens that that your opponent is at 8 or more embers. Also, the same for Doorstep to Heaven. So, in general, is a good deck. You need to know how to position your creatures, because you need to calculate how many damage can they take, and you have to choose which one has to stay on the flank and which one on the center of the board. So this is the main reason why I brought this deck.
Yeah, and it's a great choice. It made for a really interesting final. Now, I had noticed that you changed your deck that you had used from the semifinal, whereas Zenzizenzizenzic used the same deck, and they used the same Grump Buggy deck. Was it? Did you know that, and were you planning on bringing this to see if you could almost kind of out Grump Buggy their deck, or?
Uh, Really, I didn't even know which kind of deck Zendik would be playing.
Okay.
So for me, it was a blind choice. Um, I in this tournament, I brought these two decks, which are Philippa and Vicky Cyborg. The other one is a mass mutation deck, and I changed the selection of the decks based on like my feelings,
Nice.
because I know those decks really much, and I think that is the reason of the Kagi League, which you can change your deck whenever you want. It's the spirit of the league. So I used those two decks. I was thinking to bring another one, but I was sticking with these two because I'm most confident with those two decks.
Great. Yeah, that
For
makes
the
sense.
finals was a choice, like not a random choice, but I brought Philip Alpha because this one of my very first decks, and I wanted to play at the finals this one because it really enjoys me that much to play this deck. Sorry
Yeah.
for the English, the Italian accent in the English.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I do really like the deck. It was a great choice to bring, and I love kind of like what you said, like all the little decisions and placement and damage, like all those little things can really add up to a lot of value, which is really important in adaptive. So it was
Yes, exactly.
great to see it in action. Yeah. So what are
Also,
you?
there are many combos that usually happens, and in these two matches, it doesn't happen. Like the potion of invulnerability with into the fray. With you can clear the board. As you can see, the deck has no board clear, but
Yeah.
with the potion plus into the fray, you can clear your opponent board with Confine, or you can decrease 6 amber from their count with Grow. You fight six times, or you fight 6 times with the Confine. So that is the board clear of the deck, and these two matches, it never happened.
Right. Right. Yeah. So what were your feelings of this match? Obviously, a little bit of unluckiness with the turn one dust switch in the first game.
That was huge. That was huge.
Yeah.
Yes. Having no response to that switch turn one was really, really hard. There was a turn when I was with like 3 logos on the field. I don't. Yes, 3 logos on the field, but no other logos in the hand.
Mm.
Which I thought, okay, I can trade the dash switch with the Zix Researcher and pass, or I play 4 Brobnar cards from my hand and make some board. And that was, I think, a mistake because he drew too many creatures and he kept fighting my creatures. So
Yeah.
that was like a misplay. I don't think it's a real misplay, but for me, it's a misplay.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't have, yeah, I forget if that was their turn right before they played the 5 untamed creatures, but not knowing what they
Yeah,
had in their hand, it might have been the right play, like most of the time, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
I wasn't thinking about the 5 untamed creature. I was like counting the creatures in his deck, and I say, okay, not that much. So I can pass and make some board, and if I'm lucky, he will play 1, 2 creatures. But that many creatures have destroyed my game plans.
So, what was your feeling coming into the second match? Obviously, that was unlucky with the dust switch charge on the first match, but coming into the second match, what was your feeling taking Zenzizenzizenzi's deck, and yeah, what was your thought process going into it?
I thought that I had to focus on trading as much as possible uh, to Zenzi's deck, to my deck, because I have to clear the board as soon as possible before he play the Edrot Wall. Because if he play 1 or 2 Edrot Wall, for me it's impossible to trade. They are too big, the creatures. So the first turns I tried to make board and trade, and the whole game plan was to trade as much as possible. Also, I traded the turn with the ones to against many. I had a really hard choice because with Mimicry I can add the healing blast to make 3 embers, but more better was the take that smart fence because it was with like 4 or 5 logos cards in play, and I could have stole 2 embers, but it was too strong with board. So even if I steal 2 embers, he could have ripped like 5 times because he had also the rocket boots. So the game plan was only trading. And
Yeah,
the Grump Buggy, about the Grump Buggy, I was unsure to play the Grump Buggy first time, but then I thought that I had the Gorm or the Untamed action that bounced 3 artifacts. So I said, okay, I can manage that situation in some ways.
Yeah, the one stood against many play, that was great because yeah, even if you did steal Chu, they had the Anahita the trader there. They could have potentially stole Chu back.
Exactly.
So yeah, being able to really clean up their board really kept you in the game, and you had a number of actually really clever plays there at the end to really kind of hold on and give yourself a chance. So it was really exciting to see you being able to figure out how to hold on and yeah,
That was only striving because I thought, okay, I've lost, but I have to try as much as possible with the iron obelisk. But it
yeah.
was too in an advantage position that I couldn't reach up.
Awesome. So what this is your first time playing Kagi, is that right?
Yes, first time.
Yeah, what was your
Uh,
experience? How did you like it?
it felt great because I love adaptive. For me, it's my favorite format. Also, every player was really enjoying their decks, and they brought like really fun decks with lot of synergy that I enjoyed that much to play. Also, their decks, and um, and yeah, that's the main reason.
That's great.
And if I knew that there was a league like this before, I surely had attended to the previous leagues of Kagi.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, looking forward to seeing you in a future league. And you have some fans in the chat. Danielle uh, says next time, and they'll say that they'll see you at the coming Vault Tour. So, are you going to go to Florence?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
I will be in Florence. It's like near my home, so why not?
Well, that's excellent. Good luck there. Hope you have a wonderful time.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Zenzizenzizenzic, for the follow and congratulations. Congratulations, both of you. I was saying before the game started that both of you new players coming into Kagi and going undefeated all the way to the finals is really impressive with kind of the level of quality of players in the league. So very, very impressive.
Thank you, thanks. That was really much fun, and for sure I will be in the next Kagi League. That's for sure.
Great. Anything else that you want to mention or talk about?
Uh, that I want to play Winds of Exchange. I want my pledges.
Yeah, yeah. I hope that comes very soon. It is very sad for the international community not receiving their pledge because I know, especially in Italy, Italy has such a huge Keyforge base. We need
Yes,
you guys to get your pledges and get going on Winds of Exchange just like everybody, and hopefully it's there by the Vault Tour and you have an amazing Vault Tour.
absolutely. I hope so, and I think it will be amazing.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank, thanks for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And again, congratulations and yeah, thank you and take care.
Thank you, and congratulations to Zenzi.
Yep.
Nice champion.
Oh, and Fudgenator says spread the word in Italy about the league. So if you have other good adaptive players,
And the
bring them
next
along.
league, I will bring some of my friends that I talked about the league. They are interested because they love
Excellent.
adaptive also.
Good, good, good. It's a growing league. That's exciting. All right. Thanks, Holystewe, and have a good rest of your day.
Thank you, thank you. Have a nice day.
Bye. Okay. Well, that was KAGI 8.0 final. A very exciting match. Again, congratulations, Zenzizenzizenzic, on being the champion. Congratulations to Holystewe for an amazing run and some amazing matches and plays. As I said before, KAGI 9.0 signups are out there. Here's the form in the chat. I'll also put it in the VOD, in the description of the VOD. So sign up. The deadline is Tuesday, September 19th, and the league starts September 24th. We had 43 players this last season, the largest league for KAGI ever, and hoping to have even more this next season. So thanks everybody for watching. Nice to see you all out there, and that's a stream. We will see you next time. Thanks everybody, and as always, forge responsibly. Thanks everybody. Take care.